Have you ever set your alarm for 5 a.m. with big plans to change your life, only to hit snooze, wake up at 8 a.m., and feel that familiar wave of guilt wash over you? You tell yourself, I will start tomorrow. But tomorrow never comes. What if I told you the problem is not your lack of motivation, talent, or discipline? What if I told you that one single hour, the first hour of your day, is quietly deciding whether your life moves forward or stays exactly the same? Most people sleep through the moment that could change everything. This is the story of a man who had nothing, no money, no connections, no degree, until 5 a.m. became his secret weapon. Stay with me until the end, because this story might be the wake-up call you did not know you needed. Ethan was 32 years old, living in a small industrial town where factories hummed through the night. Every evening at 8 p.m. he reported to the gate of a textile warehouse for his shift as a night security guard. Every morning at 6 a.m., drained and heavy-eyed, he walked home while the town was just beginning to wake up. He lived in a tiny one-room apartment with a thin mattress on the floor, a broken fan, and a single light bulb that flickered when the power dipped. His salary covered rent and basic food, nothing more. But what hurt most was not the poverty. It was the feeling that he was living life backwards. As he walked home at dawn, he passed windows glowing with morning routines. Families eating breakfast, children getting ready for school, men in clean shirts heading to office jobs. Ethan would think, why does everyone else get to move forward, while I keep looping the same night? He tried to change. He applied for better jobs, but without a degree, doors kept closing. He wanted to learn a new skill, but after working all night, he had nothing left except sleep. By the time he collapsed into bed around 7 a.m., the day was already gone. He was not lazy. He worked hard every night, staying alert, walking the warehouse, doing his duty. But hard work without a path was not changing his life. One cold morning in November, as Ethan was leaving work, his phone rang. It was his sister. You need to come home. Mom collapsed. She is in the hospital. His chest tightened. He took the first bus to his village, a long ride that felt even longer because his mind kept racing. When he arrived at the small clinic, his mother lay weak but awake. The doctor explained she had fainted from exhaustion and stress. She needed rest, better food, and medicine they could not afford. His mother held his hand and spoke softly. My son, I do not have much time left. Please do not waste your life the way I wasted mine. Find a way. Promise me. Ethan forced a nod and said he would. But when she drifted to sleep, he sat there staring at her wrinkled hands, hands that had worked for decades and still led to struggle. Something inside him cracked, not into sadness, but into anger at his own helplessness. He stepped outside into the pre-dawn darkness. The air was cold and clean. The village was quiet, yet a few farmers were already moving toward their fields. Birds were beginning to sing. He checked the time. 5 a.m. In that stillness, Ethan whispered, no more. I will not live like this anymore. I do not care what it takes. I will find a way. On the bus ride back to town, Ethan noticed a man sitting across from him, well-dressed, calm, reading a book as if the early hour belonged to him. Ethan recognized, believe it or not, it was Mr. Chen, a successful businessman who owned several shops in town. Ethan hesitated, then spoke. Sir, why are you on this early bus? Mr. Chen smiled and said, because I wake up before the world does. Ethan asked, do you not need sleep? Mr. Chen answered, I sleep at 9 p.m., 7.5 hours. Enough. Mr. Chen studied Ethan and asked, you work nights, don't you? Ethan nodded. Mr. Chen leaned forward. You are awake when the world sleeps, and asleep when the world works. No wonder you feel stuck. Then he said something Ethan would never forget. The hours between 5 and 7 a.m. are magic hours. That is when you can build the life you want while everyone else is still dreaming. Ethan felt hope rise, then panic. But I work until 6 a.m. I need sleep. Mr. Chen did not argue. He simply said, then change your sleep. Sleep when you get home. Wake up earlier. Start reclaiming daylight. And when you can, wake up at 5 a.m. Always. Mr. Chen handed him a card with a phone number. If you are serious, call me. I will show you what to do with those hours. But only if you are serious, because it requires discipline most people do not have. The next day, Ethan made the call. At 11 a.m., for the first time in years, he was awake during daylight on a weekday. He met Mr. Chen at a small cafe. Mr. Chen looked at him with quiet approval. You actually changed your sleep schedule. Good. Most people talk. You acted. Then Mr. Chen opened a notebook and drew a simple house. Imagine your life is a house, he said. Right now your house is dark, cold, and falling apart because you never work on the foundation. You are too busy surviving. He pointed to the bottom of the drawing. The hours from 5 to 7 a.m. are your foundation time. 2 hours every morning, 14 hours per week, 60 hours per month, over 700 hours per year. That is like giving yourself months of extra time while everyone else wastes it. Ethan stared at the numbers. For the first time, his problem felt solvable. Mr. Chen then gave Ethan a system. Hour 1, from 5 to 6 a.m., build skills. Learn something that can change your income. Not entertainment, not endless scrolling. A real skill, a language, a trade, software, bookkeeping, anything valuable. Hour 2, from 6 to 7 a.m., build body and mind. Half an hour of exercise, walk, run, stretch, then half an hour to read, plan your day, or apply what you learned. Then Mr. Chen set 3 rules. Rule 1. No negotiation. Wake up at 5 a.m. every day, including weekends. Rule 2. Sleep by 9 p.m. You cannot cheat. Sleep and succeed. Rule 3. The first week will feel like punishment. Your body will fight, your mind will invent excuses, but you push through. After 21 days, it becomes normal. After 90 days, it becomes who you are. Mr. Chen looked Ethan in the eye. I am giving you 3 months. Come back and show me what you built. If you quit, do not call. The next morning, Ethan set his alarm for 5 a.m., and when it rang, his body begged him to stay down. His mind whispered, just 1 more hour. But he remembered his mother in that hospital bed and the words promise me. He stood up anyway. The first week was brutal. At 5 a.m., he sat at his small table watching free Excel tutorials, pausing and replaying because his eyes burned and his focus drifted. At 6 a.m., he forced himself outside for a 30-minute walk in the cold, quiet streets. Then he spent 30 minutes reading basic accounting articles because he chose a skill that every business needs. After that, he slept, woke, and went back to the night shift. The cycle repeated. Exhausting, lonely, and invisible to everyone else. But something changed around day 20. One morning, Ethan opened his eyes at 4:58 a.m., 2 minutes before the alarm. His body had adapted. The resentment was gone. The lessons started connecting. He understood formulas, data tables, simple bookkeeping principles. He finished his first certificate. Then another. His morning walks became something he looked forward to, not because they were easy, but because they reminded him he was moving forward while the world still slept. By the end of month 2, Ethan had completed multiple courses in Excel and accounting. He had lost weight. His mind felt sharper. His confidence grew. People at work noticed and asked what changed. Ethan smiled and said, I am changing my life 2 hours at a time. In the 3rd month, Ethan stopped being a student only on paper. He started applying what he learned. At the warehouse, he noticed inventory was messy. Numbers were guessed. and small mistakes created big losses. So Ethan built a simple Excel sheet to track items and movement, clear columns, simple formulas, and a clean way to see what was missing. He showed it to his supervisor. The supervisor was surprised, then impressed. "How did you learn this?" Ethan answered, "I wake up at 5 a.m. and teach myself." The idea traveled fast. The warehouse manager saw it, then the owner. A few days later, Ethan was called into the office. "We are expanding our accounting department," the manager said. "We need someone who understands warehouse operations and can handle basic bookkeeping. The job is yours if you want it. Day shift. Double your current salary." Ethan stood there speechless. 3 months earlier, he was a night guard who felt invisible. Now he was being offered a path forward in daylight. That evening, Ethan called Mr. Chen. "I did it," he said. 90 days. I did not miss a single 5 a.m. wake up. And today, I got promoted. Mr. Chen paused, then said warmly, "I knew you would. Now remember, do not stop waking at 5. That is not a strategy. That is your life now." Ethan answered, "I will not stop. This is who I am now." 1 year later, Ethan had become the lead accountant at the company. He saved enough to move his mother closer to town, get her proper medical care, and rent a decent apartment. But the most important thing did not change. Every morning at 5 a.m., Ethan still woke up. Not because he had to, but because those 2 hours were sacred. That was when he learned new software, read books, and planned his future. When coworkers asked why he still woke up so early, Ethan would smile and say, "Success is not a destination, it is a daily practice. And mine begins at 5 a.m. My friend, if you are watching this right now, Ethan's story is not really about Ethan. It is about you. About the mornings you planned to change but did not. About the promises you made to yourself and quietly broke. You do not feel stuck because you are weak or lazy. You feel stuck because no one ever showed you a simple path that you could actually follow. So let me be clear about the one rule that matters. This story is not about waking up early. It is not about 5 a.m. It is about building a small system and repeating it long enough for it to work. Small actions, done daily, without negotiation. That is what changed everything. Not motivation, not talent. A system that Ethan could show up to even on his worst days. Now here is your step. Do not try to change your life. Start tonight. Choose one small block of time. Tomorrow morning. 10 minutes is enough. Pick one skill you want to build and spend those 10 minutes on it. Do this for 7 days. No pressure. No perfection. If this made sense to you, type "ready" in the comments so you make it real. Share this with someone who keeps saying they want to change but never start. And if you want more stories like this that turn psychology into action, subscribe and stay with us. Your next step is small, but it starts now.